If you would like to have full support from a programming expert via Telegram group and group coaching, check the description below. Hi everyone, my name is Giovanna Proença and today we're gonna talk about how to get started with coding. The main idea of this video is to teach you how can you set up everything to start coding. So the idea of creating an account on EDX to have your grades on CS50, as well as creating here the Codespace where you can code, and also other hints that you can use while you're coding, some commands that you can use. Okay? So if you would like to have full support from a programming expert, check the description below. Alright, we give full support via Telegram group and group coaching every week, so it's really interesting if you learn more about it in the link in the description. Okay, so let's start in here. The first thing, we're going to search on Google for CS50 Python. Okay, and let's see where Google leads us. So here it's telling CS50 Introduction to Programming with Python. We can click in this link, and the first thing I'm going to do here before we move on is I'm gonna bookmark this page. Okay, so how can we bookmark? Do you see this star in here? We're gonna click in this star and you can create some folders. So how can you do this? You click here in more, all right, new folder, and you can give a name for this new folder. I'm gonna call this coding, okay? And in here, we're gonna store everything we want. So once I click save, we're gonna see in here, let me see, bookmarks. You can click in here in this 3 dots bookmarks and you can put show bookmarks bar and it will display in here the folder that we just created. Okay, for example, coding, and now we have the link for CS50. This is really interesting because whenever you want to access the CS50 course, you can just click in here in your favorites, all right? Then, if you read in here, they are going to explain what you're going to learn in CS50 Python, and we highly recommend our everyone to learn how to code using this course, okay? And here we have this topic, how to take this course. So even if you're not a student at Harvard, you're welcome to take this course for free via this OpenCourseWare by working your way through the course's 9 weeks of material. If you would like to submit the course's problem set and final project for feedback, be sure to create an EDX account if you haven't already. So this will be our next step. We're gonna create an EDX account. So you can click in this hyperlink, all right? And we're gonna be redirected to EDX. Here, like we can see, we have this start learning with EDX. You can register if you don't have an account, all right? You can put your full name, email, public username, password, and region, country, and you can create an account for free. In my case, I wanna register using something that I already have, for example, my Google account. So I'm gonna click in here, Google, and we're gonna be redirected to this page. So I was trying to create my account with Google, but I'm gonna create here in the regular way, all right? For example, I can put here Giovanna Proença, the email giovanna@doorscodingschool.com, and you can select one name that you want to appear. In my case, I'm gonna put Giovanna Proença, and then you can put a password, okay? I put here one password and create an account for free. Okay, once you click in here, I'm gonna store it. We have to answer some questions. So highest level of education optional. If you don't want it to, you don't need. And I'm gonna put skip for now. Okay, continue to EDX. I don't want to add things because I want to focus in our case in here. So now we can explore some courses, all right? So let's click here, explore courses on EDX, and we can search for CS50 Python. So I'm gonna put here CS50 Python. And it will appear here, CS50 Introduction to Programming with Python, and we can click in here, all right? Then we need to click in here, enroll. All right, and now we can see the course for real. We can start creating our account. In my case, I want to access this course for free, but if you want, you can earn a certificate if you pay. All right, I'm gonna continue for free, and that's it. Here, you can take a tour in this course, but I'm gonna click here, start course, okay? And this will be basically it. Right now, we are enrolled in the EDX account, okay? So I'm gonna give a bookmark in this part and I'm gonna call EDX. EDX. Okay, and done. Now let's open up a new tab and I'm gonna go back to CS50 Python. So now that we have in here already our account, we can continue the course. So now another setup that I want to do is the setup for the Codespace. Okay, so if you click in here, problem set 0, all right, we're going to, what to do? Submit this form, visit this link, blah, blah, blah. So let's do step by step. First, I'm going to submit this form. Let's do the first step, submit this form. And in here, authorize CS50, blah, blah, blah. So since we already have an account, we're just going to allow, okay, to make a link between our problem with the account on EDX. So here the email, the name, the EDX username. Here we have to understand this and consent the use of information by GitHub. All right, what's your GitHub username? So let's create our GitHub account. Now you're gonna search on Google GitHub, okay, and we're gonna click in here in github.com. All right. Once we click in here, we can sign up. Let's create our new account on GitHub. And why GitHub is important? Because this is where we're gonna send our code, and this is where CS50 is gonna check if our answers are correct or not. Okay? Okay, so now you enter your email. Okay, I enter here my email. We click continue. We're gonna create a password. So in my case, I'm gonna create a password here. It's strong, that's fine. You're gonna enter a username. In my case, I'm gonna put Giovanna Proenca 73, for example. Continue. And would you like to receive products, blah, blah, blah? I'm gonna say no, because I don't want to flood my emails. So here, please solve this puzzle to verify that you are human. Let's start the puzzle. And a spiral galaxy. One is done, and the other one is done as well. Okay, and now we can click create account, and now we have one account in GitHub. Let's verify. Let me save this in here. So I just received here the code. Let's get, and we're gonna put here on GitHub to verify. Okay, and code successful. Now it's launching here, initializing your dashboard, and we basically have the GitHub account right now. Okay, in the future we're gonna understand better how can we connect things using GitHub, but what we need right now is this name, the name that you have here as your username. Okay, so I'm gonna put in here Giovanna Proenca 73. In what city, state, and or country do you live? I'm gonna put Brazil. Here you can put yours, your 4-digit year of birth. What is your which category do you feel you fall into? And I'm gonna say among those less comfortable. Okay, because right now we have to think that we are starting how to code. How much you can do what you prefer. Okay, I'm gonna select some things. How much programming experience would you say you have already? You can select here in your idea how many computer science courses have you taken. Here you can select what you have. Yes, I reviewed and understand, and yes, I understand the blah blah blah. And then you can submit that form. Okay, now we can go back to where we were before, in here on problem set 0. Okay, so we did the first item. Now let's do the second one. Visit this link, log in with your GitHub account, and click authorize CS50. So let's click in this link. Actually, I'm gonna open up a new tab. So open up new tab, and here we're gonna authorize CS50. Okay, so we are making this connection. We're letting CS50 enter in our GitHub to do the checkings for the submit. I understand, blah, 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 and join course. Okay, so far we have no submissions, and that's great. Check the box indicating that you would like to grant course access, blah, blah, blah. We did this. Now we're gonna do login into Codespace, blah, 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 which is a cloud-based version of Visual Studio Code that provides you with your very own Codespace, with everything that you need for the course pre-installed. No need to download and install VS Code or Python on your Mac or PC. So in here, this will be the place where we're going to write our code. Okay, so we can click here, login via GitHub. Okay, we can authorize CS50 again. Okay. And now we are creating our Codespace. So this will be the environment where we're gonna start coding. Okay, and this environment we're going to bookmark. It's important that we bookmark here in our coding folder. Okay, so let's wait a second while it's setting up our Codespace, and once it is finished we can see what is going on. Okay, let's do the next part. Once your Codespace has loaded, close any welcome tabs that might have opened by default. In Codespace terminal, complete these tabs under SSH at blah 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 to configure your Codespace for some of CS50 command line tools. So what is going on right now? Once this is loaded, what we're gonna do? We're going to allow our Codespace to send the code for CS50. So in this way we can check if we are passing all the tests in our code. For example, if we're gonna receive 100% as grade, or 50 or 75. So we have to work with these SSH steps, and we're gonna see in a bit, to allow this connection between our code and CS50 to check if we're submitting the correct answers. All right, and we're gonna do this in a bit. Let's wait this to finish and then we go back. So now this is loaded, and let's start styling our Codespace. Here you can choose what will be the theme you prefer coding. I prefer dark, okay? So I think light is too white to code because we're gonna spend some time in this Codespace, okay? And that's it, you can close this get started. All right, so now let's start following these instructions that CS50 is telling us on item 6. So we're gonna open up this link, GitHub docs, CS50 docs, okay, and we're gonna do all these steps. So the first one, open a terminal window if not open already. Within CS50 blah blah, we already have our terminal open. This is the terminal, okay? So what is the idea? Here in the bottom it's going to be the terminal, and in the top it's going to be the file. In the future we're gonna see better how it works, but right now at this part of the video let's just understand the part of the terminal, okay? Execute this. Let's execute this command. When prompted to save the key, just hit enter without typing anything. So I copy this command and I'm gonna paste in here. So to paste, CS50, this terminal does not allow us to do Ctrl V or Command V. So you can right click in your mouse, okay? And we're gonna say allow. Then you can click enter, and it will generate a public private key and enter file in which you want to save. Here it's just telling us to click enter the save key, so I'm just gonna click enter. Oops, let's see. You will be prompted for a passphrase. If you only use your GitHub account for CS50, no need to input a passphrase, just hit enter. Otherwise, input a passphrase that you won't forget, then hit enter, then input it again, then hit enter. For security's sake, you won't see that what you type. You will then see a random marked image that you can ignore. I'm gonna just click enter because I'm just gonna use my GitHub for CS50. So here you just need to click enter. Okay, enter same passphrase again. Here we're gonna click enter again because we don't have a passphrase. Okay, so the key random smart image is this one. All right, this is the key. Let's see what we're gonna do. Execute blah blah blah. You will see your public key, multiple lines of seemingly random text. Highlight and copy all of those lines starting with SSH to the end. But don't highlight your terminal window prompt which contain the $sign before or after. Okay, so first let's try to do this command. So again, right click and click enter. This is the key that we're gonna use. So we're gonna copy everything until this SSHRSA. So I'm gonna do Ctrl C, okay. And now visit GitHub settings key, log in your GitHub username and password as usual. Don't use the passphrase you just created, if any. So now we're gonna open up GitHub again using this hyperlink, and what we need to do, log in. Okay, so now click new SSH key. Let's click in this new SSH key. All right. Paste your public key into the text box under key. Optionally input a title under title. So we don't need to paste anything here in the title, and here we're going to paste what we copy in the terminal. Let me copy again because I think I wasn't able to copy. Let me see again. Okay, I was able to copy. I just highlight everything and I use the right click, okay? So in here, pass, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna paste everything. Okay, click add SSH key. Let's click add SSH key. Now let's see the next step. Click execute this in our terminal. Okay, let's execute this in our terminal. So I'm gonna right click in here and click enter. The authenticity of host blah blah can be established. This key is not known by other names. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Let's see what they tell us. Enter yes and press enter if you see this following prompt. This is exactly what we saw, so we're gonna say yes. In here, this is the same message. We're gonna say yes and click enter. And then they are telling, hi Giovanna, blah blah blah, you've successfully authenticated, but GitHub does not provide shell access. And let's see if this is the message we're yes, this is the same message we are waiting. You should be greeted with perfect. If you don't see that, review the steps above. So basically in here we are connected, okay? So now we're able to start coding, okay? This part of setting up our Codespace is done. I know it's not so nice, it's not easy to understand why we're doing this, but it's important. This is one step only. We don't need to do this again in the future if we want to code. We're just gonna do this right now, and in the future we are free to do whatever we want, okay? So now let's see in here, execute update 50 in your Codespace terminal window to ensure that your Codespace is up to date. If prompted, click rebuild now. So we're gonna copy this and we're gonna put here in our terminal, and it's going to update now that we have this, okay? Rebuild now, this warning message, rebuild, and now it's going to rebuild our Codespace, creating this connection between GitHub and CS50 course. Okay, so the hardest part and the part that I don't like much, we finish, okay? Now we can focusing on other important parts. Okay, so I'm gonna wait this in here, and in the future we can really check if if it's working or not, okay? So now we can check if it's working, this connection between GitHub course and the EDX. We can try to submit the indoor voice. I'm not gonna explain how this problem works because we already have a video. You can check in here in the card this video solution, all right? I'm just gonna put here the end. I'm gonna explain how can we create a file, how can we create a folder, all right? But the logic behind the problem, I'm not gonna focus, okay? If you want, take a look at the video solution. So in this case, every time we're gonna make a problem, every time we're gonna solve some problems in here in CS50, we need to execute the command mkdir to create a folder, and then we put the name. In this case, they want us to make a folder called indoor in our Codespace. So we're gonna do this command here, okay? So we're gonna do, let me zoom in, we're gonna do mkdir, and I'm gonna create a folder called indoor. And once I click enter, do you see here we have this indoor folder? There's no file inside, all right? It's just a folder, and we made this folder using the terminal. Then we can execute cd indoor to change directories into that folder. You should now see your terminal prompt as indoor / and a $sign. So why we have to change our directories into that folder? So we can work with the files that we have inside the folder. Okay, so we're gonna do cd indoor, okay? cd is the command to enter in the folder. So right now we're inside the folder, and we can do code indoor.py to make a file called indoor.py where you will write your program. So if we want to make a file, we can write code, the name of the file, .py, that is the extension for Python. And once I click enter, we are creating the file in here. Do you see? Now we have access to code, our file, and it appears here in the sidebar, okay? So in this problem, I'm gonna solve very quickly what they are telling us to do. So I'm gonna put in here, input message, for example, blah, 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 and I'm gonna print. Don't bother about what is going on in here, okay? Like I said, we have a video solution. So Once you finish the course, once you finish the problem, you're gonna scroll down in here and you can test. And here it's telling us you can execute the below to check your code using CS50, a program that CS50 will use to test your code when you submit. But be sure to test it yourself as well. So every time you finish a problem and you want to check if you solved it correctly, you can copy this link. Every problem you have this link and you can paste here on your terminal. Okay, this way we're gonna connect to CS50 and CS50 will give us a response if our code is correct or not, if we are passing all the tests for this problem or not. Okay, and like we can see here is appearing connecting, authenticating, verifying, preparing, uploading, and now it's waiting for results. If we have any problem, it's going to appear a red message. Okay, I'm gonna show this red message, and if we pass all the tests, we're gonna see everything in green. Okay, for example, if we don't pass one test and I want to run it again, it's going to appear things in red. In this case, it appears everything green because we passed all the tests. Okay, and in here, let's wait, it's going to give us an error. All right, let's wait a second, waiting for results. And in here, like we can see, we passed some tests, but there are some tests in red. And this way you can check where you have the problem, where you can fix. Okay? If you pass all the tests, all right, you can go here to how to submit. So in your terminal, execute the below to submit your work. So you can copy this command and you're gonna paste in here and you're gonna click enter. Okay, this is how CS50, now you're sending your code to CS50 give you a grade. Okay, so you can get 0% up to 100. So, and then you have to say yes, because it's a course policy of academic honesty. Okay, and then you can click in here to check your results. So if you click in here, it's going to open up and it's telling us that waiting on results. Let's see, and it's supposed to give us like 4/4 saying 100%, something like this. Okay, and here's 4/4, so this means that we got 100%. Okay, so this is the steps you're gonna do when you are creating a file, creating a folder, if you want to check if your code is correct before you submit, and then submit your code so CS50 can grade you. Okay, this is the main idea of the problem. We can do some things. If you want to copy this line, you can do Ctrl+C or Command+C, okay, and you can paste using Ctrl+V or Command+V. Okay, for example, I don't want to have this new update that I did. I don't want to have the line 3. Instead of removing everything, you can do Ctrl+C or Command+Z and it will go back one step before, how it was one step before. Okay, if you do Ctrl+Z again, it will go back one step before of what you did. So it's really nice to know these commands when you're coding. Okay, so now we basically saw the main ideas that we need for starting to learn how to code. The final step is just optional if you want to learn how to record videos to send questions for us, for example, if you're stuck at some point and you need some guidance. So we're gonna now teach you how to install Loom. Loom is a platform where you can record small videos at maximum 5 minutes and it's free. So you're gonna record your video and send a link to someone. So let's see how it works. So to do this, we're gonna open up a new tab and we're gonna search for Loom, L-O-O-M, okay, Loom. And in here, we can click in this www.loom.com, okay. And here you can create an account, get Loom for free. We can create an account together as well. So for example, I want to sign up with Google. I'm going to create here an account. I'm going to select my email. I'm creating an account. I agree with the service. And now we're able to have our code. Okay, for personal use, you can answer some questions. Great, this will be the name of my workspace. I don't want to collaborate with anyone. And here, do you see install Chrome extension? We can install this Chrome extension, so you can click in this button and we're going to be redirected to install the Chrome extension. So to install, you're going to click here, add to Chrome, add extension, and it will appear in here once it is downloaded. So we are adding to Chrome this, and let's wait a second how it works. And like we can see in here, now we have this icon in our extension, so we have Loom in our extension. Okay, so for example, you can start recording in here. You can click in here, new video. It will give you the setup, record a Loom, for example, and you can use the extension. We're gonna see how to use the extension in a second. In here, if you want to record a Loom, you can click in here and start, but we can start recording from this tab if you want. For example, oh, I have one question in this part. You click here in extensions, Loom, and it will load here the tab to start recording and in our own Loom. So you can allow using the camera, the microphone, and you can start recording. You have 5 minutes free. Once you finish this 5 minutes video, it will stop instant, okay, because this is a free account. So we can basically use Zoom for this. Okay, so once you record your video using Loom, you're gonna be redirected to this page, all right, where you can see the video that you just recorded, and you can share your video using two ways. You can click in this button here called share, and you can share using social media or something else, or you can see here in this icon where when you hover it appears the message copy link, and you can send this link for whoever you want, all right? And if you are a member of our Telegram group that is exclusive for our students and where you can ask any question and we're here to help you, check the description below. You just open up the group on Telegram and you can paste in here the link, all right? And we will be able to watch your question and answer you the best way we can, all right? And the last hint that we can check is one really good resource that has named W3 Schools. You can search here on Google. W3 Schools. It's an online web tutorial. So here, if you have any question about, for example, I don't know how to use the print function, you can search here for print Python, and it will give you a really nice explanation how print works, and with some examples. Do you see? You click in here, you will be redirected to this part. So you can try it yourself. There is a definition and usage. It's really good. I highly recommend you to have W3 Schools in your bookmark. So let's bookmark this page, W3 Schools, here in stars, and done. Okay? And this is basically it. There is another thing, another command that we can do is whenever you're ready, you need to ask some question, you can take a screenshot of your screen. So here, if you are using in Windows, you're gonna click the shift, the key here, that it's the symbol of Windows and the letter S. If you do this command, like you can see here in the screen, you can print one specific part of your code, for example, and then you just need to paste. You just need to do Ctrl V once you copy, you have the screenshot, okay? And if you want to take a screenshot using a Mac computer, all right, you do this Command Shift 3, and this will capture a screenshot and save it as a file, okay, like it's displayed in here, all right? Well, so this is it for the first steps if you want to start coding, okay? This is not coding for real, but this is extremely important to start your coding journey. We decided to do this because we know how hard it is for the first time, how we get frustrated when we don't know which step we have to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, just send here on the comment, or if you want to have full support from Programming Expert, take a look at the description and learn more about how we do this, okay? I hope to see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye bye.